Game one of the Eastern Conference Finals goes tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers at the New York Knicks. It will be another case of rest versus rust. The Knicks haven't played in 9 days, but will that matter here in game one? We're going to talk about that here in this video. The Knicks will be a 7-point favorite. The total's sitting at 217.5. And let's take a look at how these two teams got here. Let's start with the Cavs. How did Cleveland arrive here in the Eastern Conference Finals? Well, it's easy to say that they won Game 7 on the road at Detroit by a whopping 31-point margin. But let's take ourselves all the way back to Game 2 in Detroit. After losing Game 2 by a score of 107-97, at that point in the postseason, the Cavaliers were 0-5 on the road. They were scoring an average of 100 points per game on the road and 120 points per game at home. But something changed in that series, and JB Bickerstaff was well aware of it. He made some public comments saying the whistle changed ever since we got to Cleveland, and the free throw disparity turned into a bit of a nightmare for the Detroit Pistons. In the final 4 games of the series, the Cavaliers had an edge in free throw attempts, 146-80 combined free throw attempts. That's an average of 36.5 free throw attempts per game for Cleveland and just 20 free throw attempts for the Detroit Pistons. And I did get a comment on last night's video, and seems rather relevant as of right this minute. And this guy says, Jesse, all due respect, regarding your comments on Cleveland-Detroit Game 7, do you think it's possible that Cleveland initiated contact noteworthy of fouls and free throws, and why couldn't Detroit do the same thing, or were they just missing their shots? And I will say, when it comes to Game 7, yeah, Detroit just didn't play well enough to win the game, sure. But over a period of 4 games, when we've got a free throw disparity of 16.5 attempts per game, when that wasn't the case through the first 2 games, and when you look at the regular season, Detroit was one of the top teams in the NBA. They averaged 26.1 free throw attempts per game. Only 2 teams averaged more free throw attempts than the Detroit Pistons. They couldn't buy a call. JB Bickerstaff didn't think it was organic. I don't think it was organic. And in a Game 7, 73 free throw attempts, I'm not here for that. Call me an old head if you want. That's not how I want to see playoff basketball go down. But I'm not really all that worried about it when it comes to the New York Knicks, because this is a different series altogether. Donovan Mitchell averaged 25.6 points per game in the playoffs so far, 44.5% from the field. James Harden is averaging 20.1 points per game, 41.5% from the field. Donovan Mitchell, 31.1% from three-point range, and he's averaging 4 made free throws per game. And James Harden, 33.3% from three-point range, averaging 6.1 made free throws per game. The Cavaliers as a team shooting just 46.5% from the field and 34% from three-point range. And both those numbers are the lowest of any teams remaining in the playoffs at the moment. We're going to talk about the New York Knicks. Before we do, I got to tell you about a few promotions we have available for the summer. Let's start it off with the big one, only $999. This will get you every play in every sport for 365 days. And this is the best deal you will ever find on buying my picks. The price per pick, less than $1 per pick. And when you look at buying picks daily, $25, $35 a piece, you can imagine over the course of 1,000 plays how that is going to add up. Save yourself some money, put yourself in a position to succeed, and ask yourself, how is this guy doing over the last 365 days? How about 72% with my NBA sides the last 365 days? Number 1 with MLB props, killing it in the NHL playoffs. Last World Cup, 71% with all my picks in the last tournament. We got the World Cup coming up next month. There's plenty of reasons to jump on board, and this is the best price you'll find. You can only get it at my page at Picks and Parlays. If you're not following me on Twitter, you should be at Jesse Schule. Check out the pinned tweet, an article that details a long history of winning in the postseason. With that, let's talk about those New York Knickerbockers. How did the Knicks get here anyways? Well, they ranked first in the playoffs, shooting 51.7% from the field, and first in the playoffs, shooting 40.8% from three-point range. They've won 7 straight games. Jalen Brunson ranks third in the playoffs, scoring 27.4 points per game. He's shooting 48.5% from the field and over 40.9% from three-point range. He's averaging 5.1 made free throws per game. And OG Anunoby, 21.4 points per game, 61.9. That is not a mistake. I'm not reading it wrong. 61.9% field goal percentage for OG Anunoby and 53.8% from beyond the arc. That guy is shooting out the lights. He had a sore hamstring. He's had 9 days to rest. He's listed as probable for tonight's game. And I'm telling you, if OG Anunoby is healthy in this series, it's going to be a short series. The Knicks are priced at plus 500 to win the championship. The Cavs are priced at plus 2,000 to win the championship. The Knicks are a favorite in the series, minus 265. The Knicks are a favorite on the series handicap, minus 1.5 games, minus 120. That will be one of my bets here for this video. We talk about rest versus rust, and we talked about that when we broke down Oklahoma City and San Antonio in last night's game. And in last night's game, I said the rest was going to hurt, or the rust was going to hurt the Oklahoma City Thunder. I talked about how they came out flat in the first half against the Lakers, how they came out flat in the first half in the first round against Phoenix. And yeah, that was a different story. Here we have a Cleveland team coming off of a Game 7 on the road in a series that I still don't believe they deserve to win, to be honest with you. I know people will say, well, you know, they initiated contact. The referees were just making the calls that were there. Nah, 73 free throw attempts in a Game 7, man. A disparity of plus 16.5 in the last 4 games of the series. Now, I just don't think Cleveland is going to be competitive in this series, especially if OG Anunoby is healthy. And it's a massive letdown spot coming off that Game 7 win, coming out on the road here in Game 1 a couple days later against a well-rested Knicks team. I like the Knicks minus 1.5 games in the series. I like the Knicks minus 7 tonight. Karl Anthony Towns, 17.4 points per game so far in the playoffs, 10 rebounds, 6.6 assists. And a lot of people have been betting on Cat's assist prop to go over. That number for this game, just 4.5, minus 136 to the over. I'm going to suggest laying off that. It's a new series. I know he was dishing out the dimes in the previous series. We'll see how it. I'm going to lay off the player props for this game. I'm going to stick with the Knicks minus 7 and the Knicks minus 1.5 games on the series handicap. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. You got anything to say to me, even if it's nasty, hit me up in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.